came across a few people on my path who have shared with me visions that they have of the future. And these visions were oftentimes doom and gloom, catalytic, massive earthquakes, and giant tsunamis and whatnot. In all cases, these people seem to have thought that, oh my God, this is the reality. Like I'm having this vision. This must be what is going to happen. I have had those visions myself. I also had visions of timelines, if you say, futuristic event that seem highly unpleasant. But the question is, can we really predict the future? The answer, with years of practice in all things metaphysical, actually showed me that yes, we can predict the future. However, we can only project it according to where we're at and what is going on in our inner vessel. Therefore, if there's something we don't like, we can actually change it. And to me personally, I feel that if we are shown vision of futuristic events that are not likes, it's actually a responsibility we must take to alchemize ourselves and change it. But how do we do that? My name is Izzy, and welcome back to the download. Imagine this. There's a person that comes to you, you know this person has psychic abilities, and they're like, wow, I tapped into the energy of Bitcoin and it was horrible. I've seen this, how it was going to lead humanity into a very dystopian future, and it wasn't nice. And everybody's owned, and we're no longer capable of owning land and whatnot. And Bitcoin is really bad. And then later that day, you meet another psychic and they tell you, they're like, wow, I tapped into the energy of Bitcoin and it was beautiful. It led us into a very utopic future where there was access to healthcare for everyone, and we actually share common ground. And Bitcoin was had been used in the future to invest in renewable energy and resources, and we can all eat and share food, and life is way better. Which psychic is right? Which psychic is wrong? Well, here's the thing, they are both actually right. The thing is, we can only not manifest, I'm sorry, we can only predict the future according to what energy we are currently in. Therefore, if we have a vision, let's say in this case, Bitcoin, and it's all dystopic, what that means is there is 8 billion people on the planet, and if 8 billion people were wired just like you, yes, that means that humanity would most likely flow into a very dystopic future because of Bitcoin. So the responsibility here comes that, well, what is it inside of me that makes me project such a dystopic future? What can I actually alchemize within myself so I can switch the script from a dystopic future and reel it back and connect with the utopic future? And this is essentially what we talk about alchemy here. And so, in this instance, let's say that there are two people and they're both tapping into the same energy, in this case, Bitcoin. Which one's going to go forward? It's going to go forward according to the majority of people and how they are wired, and also what we have agreed as humanity, as a society, to experience for our own growth collectively. So I have had myself also really dystopic visions at times. And here is an example that happened very recently and how I handle it. The thing to me with dystopic timelines is about not only clearing and bringing back balance into this timeline, so therefore we're not creating this dystopia. And it starts with ourselves instead of just going like, oh my God, alert the media, like something's happening. But here's a clear example of something weird that I saw recently and how I internalize it for my own self growth. Essentially, I was tapping into the energies of Tulum because Yemaya's there and she's a very powerful guide with me in currently. She's a really embodied into Christ consciousness. She's very motherly. She's a beautiful energy. She's the goddess of the sea, and I believe she comes from Nigeria. Anyway, she's very present in the Caribbean Sea as well. So essentially, through connecting with her, and because she's such a goddess of the sea, last week I found myself in the meditative state where I was standing in the beach in Tulum, which I'm not currently at. I'm actually in the Andes Mountain, but I would see myself in Tulum and I was seeing this giant wave coming and it was like a tsunami. And I was standing at the beach and I was saying, no, you can come here, you can throw your storm, but you're not going to destroy all of these buildings. So I would feel the energies of this wave coming and I would alchemize it. And I was alchemizing it. I could see this wave rising and rising and rising and without touching any buildings and then falling back again and disappearing, nothing's touched. Now, if you're new to psychic abilities, you may think like, "Oh my God, let's let's alert the people, right? There's a big wave coming. I must tell people." No, that's a beginner's way of thinking. A more elevated way of understanding this energy is, okay, first, what am I projecting out from within into the scenario? In symbolism, wave and water actually is the emotions. So essentially what Yemoya was showing me is like you can have incredibly powerful emotions, but they don't have to destroy you. And that was the message in that for myself. And it turns out there was, in fact, a big storm. I think it was Hurricane Beryl that barreled down into the Caribbean coast just a few days after my meditation. But again, the goal here is when we have these visions is to A, utilize them for our own growth, and B, alchemize them and really connecting within ourselves so we can alchemize this energy and project the utopic version of this energy back into the collective, because ultimately the more people who does that, the more we actually setting course for an awesome future for all of humanity. Essentially, there is no past, present, or future. All of the energies, everything is happening right now in this precise moment. And through our thoughts, belief system, and emotion, we are creating the future. So if we see something that we don't like, it is a responsibility to find out what it is within us that's creating this distortion, this dystopia. Is it some kind of fear pattern, not having enough in our root chakra type of thing, or start doing the inner work until we can see the actual utopic version of that energy. I hope this was clear and concise. If you have any questions, please comment below. Thank you very much for watching and enjoy the rest of your day.